How many of you saw Afghanistan in the news today? A few of you. There was an article that was published in the Washington Post that linked to, I think, thousands of pages of documents that came from the government that were gotten through a Freedom of Information request that basically pointed to how for nearly 2 decades we, the American people, have been lied to about where our taxpayer dollars are going in Afghanistan and why. Now, if any of you have heard me say anything before, you know that I have been very focused on how we must end the waste and abuse that has gone on in our country's waging of these regime change wars, toppling dictators in other countries for so long that has cost us tremendously in American lives, cost tremendously in the lives of the people in the countries where we wage these wars, and that have cost us as taxpayers over $6 trillion since 9/11 alone. These are wars that have undermined our national security, strengthened terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, wars that we've waged in places like Iraq and Syria and Libya, and this ongoing war in Afghanistan where people are questioning more and more, what are we doing there? We're still spending $4 billion every single month in Afghanistan right now. Where are these dollars going? What objective are we trying to accomplish? How does that serve the best interests of our national security or the people of our country? And the harsh truth is, which is revealed in this article and these documents, is it has not served our national security interests. Nearly $1 trillion or over $1 trillion in Afghanistan alone has not been going to fight terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS to keep us safe. No. It's been going to defense contractors, the McKinsey Group, a consulting group. It's been going to private contractors to go and do this work in Afghanistan to build a little mini America there, to try to root out corruption in their government, to do all of these things. Towards what objective? These are things that the Afghan people themselves, only the Afghan people, can do for themselves and for their future. One of the So I mentioned, we're spending $4 billion every month in Afghanistan right now. We are hearing about proposed cuts to food stamps coming out of this administration that would save taxpayers $5 billion over 5 years. That same amount of money is what we're spending in Afghanistan in 5 weeks. Just to put these things in context. Some of the things that are cited in that article this morning is a government worker was in Afghanistan doing work for USAID, and their instructions were to spend $3 million a day in every town where they were doing work. Not to spend $3 million to do this or that or this or that. Nope, make sure you spend $3 million a day in every town that you're doing your work. And apparently this person had asked a visiting member of Congress who had gone there to Afghanistan, what would you do in your community with $3 million a day? How quickly could you spend that, and what would you spend it on? And that member of Congress said, I couldn't spend it that quickly. The cost of war has taken a tremendous toll on our country in immeasurable ways in the lives of my brothers and sisters in uniform who never came home, whose families were forced to greet them at Dover Air Force Base as they stood there and watched the coffin unloaded from that airplane, draped with the American flag. The cost of these continuing wars that have nothing to do with strengthening our national security take a toll on every single one of us in every single community in this country as they take more and more money out of our pockets and out of the things that we need here at home. As our own government lies to us about what it's being spent on and how it's supposed to help us somehow. This must end. Enough is enough. No more lies.